Hey folks, welcome back to another day. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Dee and I'm so happy that you decided to take time out of your day to come hang out with me. Today's video is all about the details of our South Africa trip. If you didn't know, my husband and I went to South Africa recently for our honeymoon and just to visit the country because it was a country of interest for us for a while and just to kind of check it out, see what it had going on for it. And this video is all about the details about why we chose South Africa, kind of recapping each day, everything in between. So if you're interested in that, then keep on watching. So I got my phone here because I have a couple of notes and our trip itinerary is on my phone. So I'm going to be kind of going through that. Before I kind of get into the details, because I want to try so hard to keep this video as short as I possibly can, I'm just going to address a couple of things. So I actually already filmed this details video back when we actually came back. It's a little bit later now, but after kind of seeing some of the comments on my videos, I just wanted to address a couple of things. So first and foremost, thank you to everybody who has watched the video, who has commented, who has liked, who has done whatever. I'm a super teeny tiny little baby YouTuber, and even though I do this as a hobby, it is really nice to kind of have that sort of community and camaraderie on your videos, you know, when you spend time to film it and, you know, edit and all that kind of stuff. So thank you to everyone who has interacted with my videos in some way, because truthfully, you didn't have to, and I appreciate the fact that you did. The second thing I want to address is me being wrong about every freaking thing in my videos. I was getting everything wrong, but honestly, thank you guys so much for correcting me on like the Mall of Africa stuff, on the Soweto stuff, on just basically everything that I got wrong. You guys have come through for your girl and helped keep me in check. Okay, so then the last thing that I kind of wanted to address was the price of everything. So I did see some comments on some of my videos about how much we spent and, you know, kind of making assumptions on how much we spent and stuff. And I'll tell you what we spent in a second, because I'm not afraid to share that stuff, right? Like, I feel like there should be some transparency with this sort of thing. I mean, it's not gonna offend anybody, right? Because I'm literally just telling you how much the trip cost. We originally were not supposed to go in February, and I might have talked about that in somewhere in the vlogs. I don't know, I honestly can't remember. But if I hadn't, we originally booked in September, went through a lot of cancellations and stuff, and eventually rebooked in February. So back in September, the trip was a little bit cheaper, I think because it might have been considered during an off-peak time, but I'm not exactly sure about that. But then when we then rebooked for a peak time. So then obviously our costs when we had to rebook ended up going up. So our trip for like what we paid the Real South Africa was $3,800. I believe. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around there. No more than that, that's for sure. And then for our tickets, again, because there was all of this stuff happening with the airlines canceling and having to rebook and all of that, it ended up costing us somewhere between $2,000 and $2,100. Mind you, when you're going through any sort of travel company, it's going to be more expensive than when you do it on your own. Again, we went through a travel company. We didn't do any of this stuff by ourselves other than booking flights. So, and we were going through during a peak time. So things are going to be more expensive, even though we originally did not plan for that. But we saved for quite a while for this trip. I think we saved for about a year and some change for this trip. So, plus we paid for convenience. Another reason why the trip may have seemed like it might have been a little bit more expensive is because everything for us was private, reserved, and solely for us. So we had a driver every day, private tours whenever we went on tours. But just to kind of give you an idea of where some of that cost came from. When it came to our trip, I just wanted it to be really fun, really great, really relaxing, for us to not have to think about anything, and that's exactly what we got. So when you're traveling internationally, there are a couple things that you have to do. You have to take COVID tests no more than like 24 to 48 hours before you depart. You also have to, and there are certain stipulations with that. Like even if you've had COVID, you're still allowed to travel, but there's some stipulations with that. Like you have to, like if you've had COVID and have like a recovery certificate, then you just have to show that recovery ticket instead of like a negative PCR test. You'll be able to check in. So in order for us to check in, we needed to have obviously our passports because it was outside of the country. We needed to have one of those stipulations related to a COVID test or recovery, and we needed to have our vaccine cards. Why South Africa? Especially for your honeymoon. People think Greece or France or, you know, the Caribbean or like Hawaii or LA or something like that for your honeymoon, but not South Africa. or just Africa as a continent in general. People don't really talk about visiting there. And for us, two reasons. One, my husband's ancestry kind of goes back to there. So it was kind of a way for him to reconnect with his roots. And then it's a place where we want to call home one day, like actually call home one day. And what that timeline looks like, we're not exactly sure at this point, but we know for a fact that we're going to be moving there one day. Yes, we are looking to move over there one day. So you guys have visually seen the trip, and so I'm just going to go through each day and just kind of recap. So again, I have my phone here, then I'm just going to be going through. Okay, so we left February 5th and we ended up getting to Joburg, South Africa on the 7th. So we got there maybe around like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, which was really great because it meant that we could kind of start our day in South Africa. So great. So that first day, it was really just kind of for us to check in, get our bearings, you know, figure out kind of the hotel stuff. The apartment was really nice. Like, it was just nice. It was just nice to kind of be able to chill out and have space to do that in, you know what I mean? And the fact that it was fully functioning. The only thing that we needed to bring in there was obviously like food and drink and cleaning supplies like dish detergent, laundry detergent, and maybe like dishwasher pods. But even then, they gave us, I think, 1 or 2 dishwasher pods that we could use to wash the dishes. So, you know, fully functioning apartment. It was really great that we were able to stay there because, like I said, we weren't expecting to. We were expecting to stay in the regular hotel. But it was just really nice. And like I said, we're just really blessed, really grateful that they put us in kind of a better apartment stay than what you typically would get when you book a hotel. So we didn't really have any plans for that night, and that's when we met the Blantons. They kind of showed us around Melrose Arch, which is the area that we were staying in. We were staying at the Marriott in Melrose Arch. They just kind of showed us around the mall and kind of the shopping area and just kind of around that area just to kind of see what was out there in case we wanted to explore a little bit more. But because we were really just kind of tired and hungry, our main focus was getting food and getting sleep once we kind of settled in for the night. So that night we went to RocoMamas, which I kind of debriefed on a little bit in the first vlog, and it was really good food, like really good food. The food there was amazing. I think I went on and on about that in the vlogs. It was cheap. I think for that first day our meal cost $23 US, and that included us tipping like 20–25%, which we over tipped like everywhere because one, we weren't really sure how much to tip. We're surrounded by a bunch of melanated folks that look like us. So I'm okay with like giving Black folks, giving African folks, South African specifically folks, my coin. You know what I mean? If it's for us, regardless of where it's at in the world, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to spend some coin because I want to support like people that look like me, you know? Okay, so that was the first day. We checked in, we hung out with the Blantons for a little bit. We got some really good burgers and wings at RocoMamas, and we settled in for the night. The next day was our tour of Soweto. This is all new to me. We did not really learn much about Nelson Mandela or about South Africa or anything about any of the other African countries when I was in school, which is kind of sad because when we went over there, we learned so much about him and his family, and from when he was a boy up until his death. Hearing people talk about him and stuff was just unreal. The reverence for that man was unmatched. A good chunk of the day was just kind of driving around Soweto, but our second day was great. We had that tour at Soweto, which was amazing. So after the bulk of the tour, we went to a restaurant called 1947, which you would have seen, and the food there was really good too. I mean, to be honest, we didn't have any bad food. We actually had a photo shoot. And this is kind of typical, I believe, of the itineraries that are put together by the Real South Africa. And I think it's really just to kind of commemorate the trip. And it was really casual. It wasn't anything too crazy. I think sometimes people do have outfit changes and stuff, and I'd actually brought a dress with me specifically for that, but I ended up not changing into it because I was like, let's kind of match with our green and stuff. So we had a couple of photos. Yeah, so we had the photo shoot, and then we went to the grill house for dinner, and I ate, I think, like nothing but seafood. It was amazing. Okay, so on to day 3, which was the safari day. The fact that I was able to capture that video of that elephant coming so close to us, guys, I couldn't even speak in that moment. And I was just like fumbling around because I was just like, oh my gosh, this beautiful, majestic beast is with her baby, like right freaking there. You know what I mean? It was insane. It was insane. That was definitely my favorite part of the entire trip. That day we had lunch at a place called Babakunde, I believe. So then after that, we went to a place called, like we went back to our hotel, just kind of chilled out for a little bit. And then we went to dinner at a place called Radicchio. Guys, if I'm saying the names wrong, I apologize. I greatly apologize, but I'll have the names of like all the restaurants and stuff that we visited during our trip. But it was basically like a Brazilian kind of steakhouse. I forgot how good they are and how full you get, because you get full like almost immediately, and then they just keep bringing you freaking meat. It was good. It was good. That's all you need to know. So then the next day we went to this was our first time going to any of the shopping center / malls in South Africa. And that's when we went to Sandton City and Mandela Square. So we spent some time in Sandton City, just kind of putzing around, going in and out of the stores and stuff until it was lunchtime. And we went to the Sandton Sun. It was just nice to be outside in a beautiful country with my beautiful husband. Period. But we were also kind of running late because we kind of like misunderstood some timing. That was a day that we wanted to look at houses. So the houses over there, oh gosh, it was insane. And the reason why it was insane is because the houses just seemed like they were so much bigger for the same amount of money for like average cost of homes here in the States. South Africa gets me excited about life. Let me just put that out there. So after we, you know, left our little house tour situation and stuff, we went to dinner at a place called Istanbul Kebab. A lot of food, ton of food. And like I said, we had hookah and stuff then too. But that's also the night that I got sick. And so it was like 1 or 2 in the morning or something, or at night, whatever, however you want to classify that. And I couldn't breathe. Like it just felt like my nose was really stuffed up. And I was just like, oh man, I can't breathe. So I'm just like lying there trying to figure out what's wrong with me, seeing if I can do, you know, that. Nothing's coming out. My boo, I miss him so much. He's such an amazing person. Oh my gosh. He was like, okay, I'm gonna stay up all night until you are able to get some rest. And let me tell you, that's exactly what that man did. And I was sick the entire day the next day. I was having stomach issues too and all this other stuff. So I was thinking that maybe either I ate way too much food and this was how it was affecting me, or I might have actually gotten food poisoning. I have no idea. So then the next day, like he basically kind of spent it by himself like throughout the day. Like he was kind of walking around and just kind of exploring around and stuff, in addition to getting me food and medicine and stuff, because I was sleeping like all day. Because that day, as I said in the vlog, I wanted to go to Signature because that was a restaurant that I had seen videos on and people reviewing it and stuff, and it was a place that I really wanted to get food at. When it was like, yeah, okay, we can't go to the Mall of Africa that day, but you know, we knew at that point that we were going to be able to go the following day, so I wasn't too worried about that. But I was like, we won't be able to go to Signature because we're going for dinner plans and we have to be at the airport like around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so we got to go this night. So I was able to muster up enough energy to go, but my stomach was still a little sensitive because I hadn't had food in a little while. So it was still a little iffy, and I just tried to eat some soup. I was able to eat some of my salad. I had like a shrimp and cucumber or something salad, which was, oh gosh, it was so good. Lord Jesus, it was so good. The soups were really good too, but they were just really, really rich. And the only thing that my stomach was able to get down or to hold was like clear broth. But I was able to eat some of the food while there and to be able to say that I had actually gone to Signature restaurant, because that was a huge goal of mine throughout the kind of sick period that I was going through. So then on to the next / last day. So that's the day that we fly out. So like I said in the beginning, we had booked our trip through the Real South Africa Travel Company, and they also have a YouTube channel. And so any guests that they bring over, they typically do videos on them, because they know that like we've been wanting to move over there and stuff. They wanted us to meet a couple that is actually making the move over there. Like they actually bought a house and everything. And I think I may have stated that in the second vlog. So Antoine and Kim remind me so much of Paul and I, just even down to the looks and the career. Like both Paul and Antoine are former police officers and former military, and all of the freaking world. And for us to be in South Africa at the same time to meet these people who literally personality and career wise are like the same, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. But it was nice to just talk, you know, to talk to people who are from there. Like Lionel is South African, so he's from there. To talk to people who live there, so Asha lives there, and to talk to people who are making the transition to move over there in 20. After our kind of roundtable interview and conversation with them, we headed to the Mall of Africa. And as I said in that second vlog, what the heck was that? But as I said in the second vlog, you know, we didn't have as much time as we had the previous day, scheduled for the previous day. And so we just really walked around, looked at the decor. One thing, I think my favorite thing from the Mall of Africa was when I saw all of the kids playing. You know, kids is just kind of on the forefront of my mind right now. And so seeing all the kids, that's probably the most broody I've ever felt in my life, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like I could totally see one of our little kids, one of our little chocolate babies, like out here with all the other little chocolate babies. So after we left the Mall of Africa, it was time to start heading home. So we went back to the hotel to retrieve our bags. We packed everything up in the car and headed over to the airport. Yeah, we get back home and we get back to the animals, the cat and to the dogs and stuff, and it was really great to see them because we really missed them and they missed us a lot. That was really it for our trip. But if there's anything that I haven't addressed or a question that you have that wasn't answered and that you would like to get answered, just leave them in the comments down below. I love hanging out with you guys there. I love this community that we're building. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the South Africa vlogs so far. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more detail as to why we picked South Africa and kind of the recap of each of our days. And if you ever want to see more pictures or anything, I always have my Instagram linked in the description bar and also in my profile. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Bye.